Have you ever wondered why some men without wealth or status still leave women completely captivated, while others with everything get ignored? Why do some women stay awake thinking about a man who gave her nothing but presents, and forget the one who tried to buy her affection? Here's the secret no one tells you. Women crave something far deeper than money. They crave a man whose silence calms them, whose gaze anchors them, whose energy feels safer than any promise. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about becoming the man who doesn't need to perform because his presence alone is valuable. Right now you might be chasing, proving, or over-giving, but the game changes without a word if you shift your energy. If you're ready to embody the one thing she desires but can never ask for, like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My presence creates peace she can feel. Number 1. What women secretly crave more than money. Presence, not possessions. You've seen it happen. The man with wealth, charm, and access to everything, the cars, the dinners, the suits, is still forgotten. Meanwhile, with no flash or fortune, another man walks into the room and leaves a mark that lingers in her mind long after he's gone. Why? Because he gave her something rare, something money can't buy. His full presence. Presence is the new luxury in a world distracted by screens and overstimulation. Most women won't say this out loud, but deep down, what truly makes them feel safe, seen, and drawn to a man is not his bank account, it's his attention. Not the kind of attention that buys flowers when he remembers. The kind of attention that makes her feel like she's the only person in the room when he listens. You see, money creates moments, but presence creates connection. And that connection cannot be bought. It has to be built. A man who practices presence doesn't look over her shoulder while she's speaking. He doesn't check his phone in the middle of conversation. He doesn't rush to respond just to be polite. He absorbs. He notices the tone shift in her voice, the flicker of doubt in her eyes, the pause between sentences that tells a deeper story. He's there, not just physically but emotionally. And that's what makes her feel something far deeper than romance. The Stoics, though often misunderstood as cold or emotionless, were masters of presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness." In love, that means giving her not your money but your moment, not your resources but your attention. Presence is power, but not loud, showy power, quiet, anchored power. It separates the man who gives from the man who offers himself, and that offering of being fully here ignites attraction at the level no gift can touch. Here's the irony. Presence is free, yet it's the most expensive thing you can give. Why? Because it requires discipline, intention, and inner stillness. It demands that you stop performing and start being. It asks you to let go of control and simply tune in, not to impress her, but to respect her. So next time you wonder what will make her remember you, don't reach for your wallet. Reach for your focus. Look her in the eye. Breathe with her. Let the noise fall away. Because when she feels you're truly there, she'll never forget how you made her feel. Because the man who chooses depth over display becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. Comment below. I control my mind, no one else does. Number 2, emotional mastery, the calm that captivates her. There's a storm brewing everywhere, on the streets, her social media feed, and the fast-changing world she navigates daily. But when she meets a man who doesn't flinch at chaos, who doesn't react to every emotional wave, who stands still while others panic, she notices. And more than that, she's drawn in. What truly captivates a woman isn't raw dominance or flashy displays of passion. It's emotional mastery. The man who doesn't raise his voice just to be heard, the man who doesn't lash out when he's hurt, the man who doesn't need to win the argument knows how to win his peace. That man becomes a lighthouse in her storm, a source of gravity in a world full of drift. Why does this matter so much? Because emotions are contagious. If you're anxious, she'll feel it. If you're needy, she'll pull away. But if you're truly grounded, you don't just create attraction, you create safety. And that safety is what allows her to be vulnerable, to trust, and eventually to connect at a level far beyond surface attraction. The Stoics mastered this. Seneca said, "He who angers you conquers you." The modern man who wants to win her respect must first win over his reactions. That means learning to pause when provoked, breathe when triggered, and respond instead of react. It means not trying to fix her emotions, but witnessing them with strength and calmness. That silence, when held correctly, is louder than shouting ever could be. Let's be clear. Emotional mastery isn't the absence of feeling, it's the management of feeling. It's the difference between suppressing and owning, the difference between being numb and being still. A Stoic man feels deeply, but channels those feelings into presence, action, and principle. And here's what women pick up on intuitively. When a man stays calm under emotional pressure, it signals maturity, confidence, and depth. Not every man can stay present when she's emotional. Not every man can listen without becoming defensive. Not every man can hold space instead of grabbing control. But the few who can, they leave a lasting impact. This is not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally anchored. It's about showing her that while the world may spin, you don't. And in that stability, she finds something more powerful than money, muscles, or words. Because the man who commands himself becomes the one she can lean on without fear. Comment below. I control my mind. No one else does. Number 3. The magnetic pull of purpose. Why mission-driven men are irresistible. There's something different about a man who moves with direction. You see it in his walk, you hear it in his voice, you feel it in the way he looks at life. Not searching for validation, but pursuing something bigger than himself. And for many women, that kind of man is magnetic. Purpose is not just a goal. It's not about making money or chasing status. It's about having a compass, an inner calling that shapes how you show up every day. A man with purpose doesn't orbit around a woman. He doesn't lose himself trying to please. Instead, he invites her into a world already in motion, a world where meaning, vision, and values take the lead. And that's exactly what makes him stand out. Most men fall into the trap of making a woman the center of their universe. They drop everything, abandon their routines, and start chasing. But ironically, the more they do this, the more they lose what made them attractive in the first place. Their fire, their ambition, their edge. And when that happens, she starts to pull away, not because she doesn't care, but because she no longer feels the pull. Purpose creates polarity. It gives your energy direction, it gives your presence weight. When you're focused on a mission, whether it's building something, leading something, or becoming something, your life speaks louder than any pickup line ever could. You become interesting without trying, desired without performing, respected without demanding. From a Stoic perspective, this is the foundation of masculine virtue. Marcus Aurelius didn't talk about seduction, he talked about duty. He wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. A man who lives for something beyond approval becomes immune to the games that drain others. He doesn't get lost in mixed signals. He doesn't panic at silence. He keeps moving, forward, focused, and firm." And here's the paradox. When you no longer need her to feel fulfilled, she feels drawn to you. Not because you ignore her, but because you don't need her to feel enough. That confidence, that wholeness, it's rare, and in a world of men who chase, it's unforgettable. So, if you want to become irresistible, don't chase her, chase purpose. Build a life so rich in meaning that when she steps into it, she feels elevated, not burdened. Because the man with a mission doesn't just attract her, he inspires her. Now comment below, I control my mind, no one else does. Number 4. Why discipline is the silent aphrodisiac, the hidden power she feels without you saying a word. Hence, you don't need six-pack abs or a luxury car to be desirable. What women feel, often without knowing why, is something quieter, deeper, and far more enduring: your discipline. The way you get up early when no one's watching, the way you show up to your commitments, the way you resist what's easy to become someone that commands respect. That, right there, is what makes you unforgettable. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't shout for attention. It whispers in how you carry yourself, and women sense it. A man who practices discipline isn't perfect, but he's predictable in the best way. He says what he means, he follows through, he has routines, standards, and values that he doesn't drop just because emotions are high or temptation is strong. And in a world full of impulsive boys, a disciplined man stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. Let's be real. Many men think attraction is built through flashy gestures, but here's the truth. She doesn't need fireworks, she needs foundation. When she sees you consistently prioritizing your health, your mind, your mission, without needing to explain it, she starts to feel something powerful: trust. And trust is the gateway to both emotional and physical intimacy. From a Stoic view, discipline is a core virtue. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and the way to freedom is through discipline." Think about that. Discipline doesn't make you rigid, it frees you. It frees you from neediness, from regret, from emotional volatility. And in love, that kind of freedom makes you both safe and desirable. Discipline shows her that you can delay gratification, that you won't crumble under pressure, that you can be a man of choice, not compulsion. And whether she's fully aware of it or not, her body and mind are tuned to respond to that kind of man. Here's the paradox: the more you focus on mastering yourself, the more naturally she feels drawn to you. Not because you tried to impress her, but because you've become impressive without seeking validation. So next time you think you need to say the right thing or plan the perfect date, ask yourself this: am I becoming the kind of man I'd respect, regardless of who's watching? Because the man who walks in quiet discipline becomes the one she trusts, desires, and respects, without needing to prove a thing. Comment below, I control my mind, no one else does. Number 5. The mystery that makes her stay. Curious, why not? Revealing everything keeps her intrigued. In the age of oversharing, the man who holds something back becomes unforgettable, not because he's manipulative, but because he has depth. And depth can't be dumped all at once. It must be revealed, slowly, intentionally, and authentically. That unfolding, that tension, keeps her drawn to you long after the first conversation ends. Mystery is not about being secretive. It's about having a rich inner world, values, experiences, insights, that she doesn't have full access to immediately. When you reveal too much, too fast, you rob her of the most powerful feminine drive in connection: curiosity. And without curiosity, desire dies. A mysterious man isn't a man who plays games. He's a man who doesn't need to explain everything. He doesn't rush to prove himself. He doesn't fill every silence with stories or try to impress with details. He lets her wonder. He lets her lean in. And in doing so, he flips the script. She starts chasing the unknown. Not from a Stoic lens, mystery is a form of restraint. It's the refusal to let external validation dictate your self-essence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When your inner world is rich and disciplined, you don't need to decorate it for others to see. You live it, quietly, powerfully, and that subtle power draws people in. Women are not obsessed with perfection, they're obsessed with discovery. They want to feel like they're uncovering something real, but if everything is on display from day one, there's nothing left to chase, nothing to explore. Mystery leaves room for imagination, and imagination, when sparked, makes you unforgettable. So how do you cultivate mystery without manipulation? Focus less on being known and more on being whole. Let your actions speak, let your eyes carry stories, let your silence have gravity, and when you talk, make it matter. The more you master the art of holding back, the more she wants to know. Not because you're distant, but because you're layered. And in a world of surface-level talk, your emotional depth becomes a rare currency. Because the man who reveals himself in chapters, not spoilers, is the one she keeps reading long into the night. Comment below, "I control my mind, no one else does." Number 6. Integrity. The silent shield that wins her trust and separates you from the rest. You can fake charm, you can fake interest, you can even fake confidence for a while, but there's one thing no woman will ever mistake, and no man can shortcut: integrity. It's invisible in the beginning, but it becomes everything over time. Integrity is the quiet commitment to be who you say you are, even when no one's watching. It's showing up on time, keeping your word, honoring boundaries, and holding to your values when it's easier to compromise. And while it may not feel glamorous at first, it's exactly what builds the kind of safety that makes love real. Here's the truth. Women are drawn to many kinds of men, but they stay with the one they can trust, the one whose words match his actions, the one who doesn't shift his personality just to get attention, the one who says no when it matters, even if it costs him popularity. That man might not be the loudest in the room, but he's the one she can lean on when the noise fades. In Stoic philosophy, this is the virtue of honesty in character. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you must do." A man of integrity doesn't perform, he embodies. And this embodiment doesn't just gain respect, it earns admiration silently and consistently. Think about how rare this is. In a world where social masks are worn like fashion, the man who chooses consistency over convenience is a breath of fresh air. He doesn't ghost when things get hard. He doesn't sugarcoat the truth to avoid discomfort. He doesn't change just to win someone over. He's real, and being real is magnetic. Most men don't realize this. Integrity isn't about being flawless, but reliable. You can make mistakes, but when you own them, when you learn, when you stay aligned with your truth, you build something deeper than attraction. You build trust. And once a woman trusts you at her core, attraction becomes effortless. So while others are flexing status or looks, you're cultivating something far more powerful, a foundation. And from that foundation, real connection, raw, intimate, enduring, can finally grow. Because the man who leads with integrity doesn't just earn her heart, he earns her respect for a lifetime. Comment below, "I control my mind, no one else does." Number 7. Internal value always outlasts external wealth. Why who you are matters more than what you have. It's easy to assume women want the man with the biggest paycheck, the flashiest car, or the most impressive lifestyle. That's what the world screams. But time and experience tell a different story. The men women remember, the ones they feel long after the conversation ends, are the ones with depth, with integrity, with purpose, with discipline. You can rent a lifestyle, you can display success, but internal value, that's not something you can borrow, it's something you build, and once you have it, no one can take it away. Women may be drawn to confidence, but they stay for character. They may notice the watch, but remember your presence when they spoke. They might smile at your charm, but they'll crave the stillness you brought into a chaotic world. And here's the truth, none of that concerns money. The Stoic path teaches that true wealth is virtue lived out. Marcus Aurelius never boasted of gold. Seneca wasn't seduced by power. Instead, they pursued inner mastery. They built lives not around applause, but around alignment. And the modern Stoic man knows it's not about proving your worth, it's about living it. So while others hustle to impress, you return to your core. You cultivate presence, so she feels seen. You master emotion, so she feels safe. You chase purpose, so she feels inspired. You remain disciplined, so she feels trust. You carry mystery, so she feels curiosity. And you lead with integrity, so she feels secure. That's not seduction, that's sovereignty. Ultimately, what women truly crave is not what you have, but what you've become. A man who is full without flaunting, grounded without controlling, available without being needy. A man who doesn't ask her to complete him because he's already complete. That's why the most attractive man isn't the richest, he's the most real. So stop asking what you can buy to win her heart. Start asking who you can become so you never have to chase again. Because the man who embodies inner value becomes the man no woman forgets, even if he walks away. Comment below, I control my mind, no one else does. Why do women remember the man who said little but made them feel everything? Why do they leave the wealthy for the man who made them feel safe being herself? Because what women want more than anything is a man who leads her emotionally, without ever trying to control her. She doesn't want your money. She wants your self-mastery. She wants the man who can hold his frame while she unravels, and never waver. And here's the paradox. The less you need to prove, the more power you hold. The more silent your strength, the louder it echoes in her heart. If you're ready to become that man, the one she chooses in silence, like this video, subscribe and comment. I am the calm she never knew she needed. Stay still, stay powerful, because when she feels emotionally safe, you become unforgettable.